Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Ōkami walkthrough. It's time for the second part of the extras, and here we go into the presents from Issun. So we have all of this wonderful artwork, which we will be looking at in a bit, but first off we're going to go into Ōkami music, because it's going to take us the least amount of time, and that just makes things a hell of a lot easier. So the way that this is all split up is that you've got different chapters, so to speak, and within these chapters you then have all the different songs that turn up. Now what's quite helpful and quite fun is that each of the songs is given a different, how shall I put it, different little icon depending on the situation in which the song appears. So if it's in, say, a cutscene, it's got that little green icon. If it's used as gameplay, or in some form of gameplay style, then it is used with the red. At least I think that's the key. Now, these song titles are slightly different than the ones that appear in, well, that I have mentioned throughout the game, if only because these are more, how shall I put it, these are the official English versions of the song titles. However, the list that I was going from was I think like a fan translation of the songs as they appear on the OST. So some of them sound, well, the names are slightly different. I'm honestly not sure what all the different colours are for the songs. I'm going to try and have a quick find out. But also it's really cool because you can listen to the different versions and all of that, and it's just really, really helpful. Now, obviously, this sort of jukebox thing appears in pretty much every single Platinum Games game, and it is something that I'm always a massive fan of wherever it appears, really, because they are just so good. And actually, what I think those colours might be is actually the composers. So I think that might be the specification, because the colours are pretty similar. So, red is any song done by Masami Ueda, green is any song done by Hiroshi Yamaguchi, blue is any song done by Rei Kondo, and yellow should be Akari Groves. And then you've got reset, which is the odd one out. So yeah, so those little colours on the song's icons are who composed the song, essentially. And now we're into the loads of concept art that are available to us. Now, most, or at least quite a lot of this stuff, is available in the art book, and it is what I have been referring to so frequently. However, there are some exclusive pieces of artwork within this gallery here. I mean, there's certainly some like the stuff to do with Army that I've already seen, which here just I can't find in the art book at all. So that's a really nice touch. Although they might actually all be in here, I don't know. Either way, you get to see all of the stuff that I have been referring to, because pretty much all of it is in the art book. And obviously, I've had all the information here, and just, I really like that I get to be able to show you all of these pictures, because hopefully it'll provide some context for what I had been getting at. There, for example, is where they were going with Sakuya level 3. Now this is also split up into the different kind of areas. So you've got like character concepts, location concepts, and so on. So it's all nice and structured, shall we say. Now, unlike Bayonetta and The Wonderful 101, Ōkami doesn't have any form of model viewer, so you can't see any of the 3D models separately from anything else. But to be honest, there's no need, and I think there's probably a bit too much within Ōkami to be able to do such a thing like that. Though that said, The Wonderful 101 obviously has over 100 characters and enemies and so on, and they still managed to do a 3D model viewer for all of them. So I don't know why they couldn't do it. Maybe it was a space thing. To be honest, it probably was a space thing, considering they crammed this thing on tight into the PS2 disc. And apparently even more so for the Wii disc. I'm not sure whether that is indeed the case, but oh well. Now I should point out that actually I think the jukebox bit of the Presents from Issun is only available in the US and European releases, at least in the original game, which sounds baffling if you ask me. But I'm pretty sure the gallery was there from the beginning, and also the video treasure chest, which we'll be seeing in the next part. But other than that, there's nothing much else I can talk about. So this is a time for you to look at all the pretty pictures and just listen to me blather, really. Now, say like Blossom there that you just saw, I always get slightly confused by his character. Well, Blossom's father anyway, because he looks like a zombie, and at least for a while he entirely is a zombie, but then suddenly he's perfectly fine and not blue anymore. No idea why that's the case, but oh well, these things happen. Yeah, I really do like all of like this concept art, because it's all fascinating. I mean, it's, as I've said many times before on this channel, having all of this behind the scenes stuff gives you an insight into the process of making a game, how much effort goes into coming up with the ideas, and then the process of implementing them, and just all that sort of thing. And when you get like concept galleries and stuff within the game itself, that's really helpful. Now, Nushi there is the child that Kushi and Susano have, or at least were planned to have when Ōkami originally came out. Now, Nushi would sort of go on to have a life of his own come Ōkami-den. That complicated stuff happened when they came to do Ōkami-den. Obviously Hideki Kamiya and the team at Clover had nothing to do with it, so it's very difficult. But Nushi basically became Kuni in Ōkami-den, Japanese name being Kuni Nushi, which is a reference to the Shinto deity Okinushi. No, let me correct that. Okuni Nushi. There we go, which means Great Landmaster. The Kuni bit meaning the land, the O meaning the great, so the Nushi means master. But obviously it's For those who actually do know Ōkami, Nushi isn't quite CUNY. But that is a plot spoiler that I do not want to be spoiling. Just in case I ever did decide to force myself to play through Ōkami for the channel. That is not something that I, at least at the minute, plan to do, because I am really not a fan of that game. As I said, way back at the start of this walkthrough, and it's just because it is an attempt to retread Ōkami on weaker hardware, with a weaker story, weaker gameplay, weaker visuals, just everything about Ōkami is lesser than Ōkami. And when the bar is set as high as it is with Ōkami, you can't knowingly try and create a game that is going to end up being lesser than that. You need more powerful hardware to be able to do justice, I suppose, to the series. And I have to say, part of me really does hope that Ōkami does get a true sequel from Hideki Kamiya and the folks at Platinum. And I think, if I recall correctly, there was inklings of something happening. It's only very slight kind of stuff, but Hideki Kamiya did a poll to kind of ask what would people most like to see a sequel to with like all of his previous works, and I'm pretty sure that Ōkami won that poll, which is wonderful to see. But then you also had, from what I recall, some slight buddying up with Capcom, and some lovely words said between them both. So there's small little things which suggest that Hideki Kamiya and Capcom and Platinum are speaking about doing something. Whether it actually ever comes to pass is a completely different matter, but there is signs of hope that we may see a true sequel to Ōkami. That may just me being slightly delusional, and just really hopeful that something did happen. And something will happen. Obviously, if nothing comes to pass, then oh well, that's life. You can't really do much about it. And anyway, Ōkami is such a wonderful package that a sequel isn't really necessary. It'd be wonderful because, I mean, there's so much they could do with a true sequel, because you've got the Celestial Plane. There is so much that is possible with the Celestial Plane. Like, visually, just the ideas that you could go with are out of this world, really. Well, quite literally, it seems, considering, you know, it's not of this world. But yeah, hopefully something will happen, but while I do hope, I won't hold my breath that such a wonderful thing can occur. Then again, that said, there have been some rather spectacular occurrences in the world of video games in this past year. For example, The Last Guardian not being dead. Oh gosh, what else? Oh yes. Final Fantasy VII being remade and trailers coming out the wazoo for it. At least that's what it feels like, considering the dearth that we had for Final Fantasy 15, just the slow drip drop of content revealed for that. And then we've gone and had 2 Final Fantasy VII trailers in the space of a few months, which is just balmy. So we had that, and then obviously the big news that happened in December, which was that the Bayonetta is coming to Smash Brothers, which just that just made my day. Was not expecting it at all. I mean, I desperately wanted it to happen, and I did vote for Bayonetta in the Smash ballot, but it just and I just love the fact that there's so much salt from people about that choice, and the fact that Bayonetta won the ballot, maybe through special means, i.e. kind of they fudged things a little bit. Obviously there's the fact that you would have had characters that were not feasible for the game. You would have had other characters that are already kind of in there or just wouldn't work. So it's really wonderful to see that Platinum have reached a level of acceptance within the industry that Sakurai really wanted to put Bayonetta in there, and the fact that there is enough popularity for the character and for Platinum Games that they voted for her to be in Smash Brothers, which is one of obviously the biggest crossover titles in the history of ever. So hopefully that means that more people will pick up Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, and hopefully that will then lead more people to look at the rest of Platinum Games' and Hideki Kamiya's back catalogues, and then experience the wonders that are the Wonderful 101, Ōkami, etc, etc, etc. So, it's so exciting. But anyway, we are really, really close to the end of this part now. As I said, it's just the music jukebox and the concept art, and that is your lot for the part 2 of the extras. But don't worry if you want to listen to me blather a little bit more and to see a little bit more Ōkami. The final part of the extras, and so the final part of the Ōkami walkthrough, is coming very, very, very soon, like, i.e. tomorrow. At least when this is getting uploaded. And that is going to be the video treasure chest. So let's have a look at that.